The mystery of the Van Meter visitor. In the quiet town of Van Meter, Iowa, a series of strange and unsettling events unfolded in the autumn of 1903 that would leave a lasting impression on the local community and become one of the most unusual paranormal mysteries in American folklore. Over the span of several nights, townspeople claimed to have encountered a bizarre, winged creature that defied any known classification. The sightings caused fear, confusion, and ultimately, a communal attempt to confront the unknown entity. Eyewitness accounts described the creature as standing several feet tall, with large, bat-like wings that allowed it to glide through the air with eerie silence. Perhaps the most unusual feature was a glowing horn or light on its head, which illuminated the darkness and added an otherworldly quality to its already fearsome appearance. The creature was also said to emit a strong, foul odor, powerful enough to overwhelm those nearby. Its presence seemed to be accompanied by a heavy atmosphere, as if the air itself grew dense with its arrival. The first reports came from respected citizens, including a local banker who encountered the creature perched on a rooftop. Startled and disoriented by the light from its head, he fired his weapon, but the creature appeared unfazed and flew away without injury. Over the following nights, more residents saw the same thing: the tall figure, the silent flight, the radiant horn, and the overpowering stench. The sightings always occurred at night, and each witness described a sense of disbelief at what they were seeing, followed by fear. As panic grew, the townspeople decided to take collective action. Armed with rifles and lanterns, several citizens gathered near the old brick and limestone mine on the edge of town, where the creature had last been seen. During the night, the creature appeared once again, this time accompanied by a second figure of similar description. The crowd opened fire, unleashing a barrage of bullets at the strange beings, but once again, the creatures remained unharmed. According to witnesses, the sound of gunfire echoed through the night, but the creatures eventually retreated into the darkness of the mine, vanishing without a trace. After that final encounter, the mysterious entity, known today as the Van Meter visitor, was never seen again. The mine was sealed shortly thereafter, adding to the legend that something unusual had taken refuge beneath the town. Over the decades, many theories have been proposed, from misidentified animals to shared hallucinations, but none have fully explained the consistent descriptions or the collective fear experienced by the townspeople. What makes the Van Meter visitor particularly compelling is the credibility of the original witnesses, many of whom were well-respected members of the community. Their detailed accounts remain largely consistent despite the passage of time. With no physical evidence ever recovered and no similar creatures ever reported in the region, the Van Meter visitor stands as a unique and chilling mystery, an event that shook a small town and left behind far more questions than answers. The mysterious visitor. Late one night on the east side of Casa Grande, Arizona, a homeowner had an unsettling encounter that has since captured the attention of the local community. Shared in a neighborhood watch group, a series of surveillance images reveal a mysterious figure caught on a doorbell camera. According to the original poster, the individual was seen trying to open a locked door, peering through windows, checking car windows, and moving around the property in an unsettling and deliberate manner. The photos, eerie in their clarity, show someone with a pale, painted face, a cigarette in their mouth, wearing a blue cap tilted to the side, and a green top with beads around their neck. The encounter struck a chord with many residents, not simply because of the odd behavior, but because of the figure's appearance, unsettling, theatrical, and unlike anything most expect to see on a quiet street at night. The person in question looked more like a character from a film or dream than a typical passerby. With their expression blank and their face unnaturally pale, the images raised more questions than answers. No confrontation occurred, and no damage was reported. Yet the emotional impact of the encounter has been significant. Seeing someone so unusual so close to home, especially during late hours, sparked an immediate reaction among those who saw the footage. Reactions ranged from fear and confusion to speculation about the individual's state of mind or intentions. Some commented on the theatrical appearance, wondering if this was a prank or performance art gone too far. Others viewed the incident as a warning sign, one that reinforces the importance of awareness and neighborhood vigilance. Adding to the mystery is the absence of any clear motive. The person didn't attempt to force entry, nor did they take anything. Their presence was intrusive, but not overtly aggressive. That quiet strangeness, the feeling of being watched by someone who doesn't speak, who doesn't behave in expected ways, is what unsettled many people the most. The images speak volumes without the need for sound. A hand reaching toward the camera, a blank stare through the glass, the unnerving calmness of the figure's presence, all of it combined to create a moment of genuine discomfort. Incidents like this, though rare, remind communities of the thin boundary between the familiar and the unknown. While it is possible that the person in the images meant no harm and was simply acting out of confusion or distress, the behavior was enough to cause alarm. As a result, residents have been encouraged to remain cautious, keep doors and windows locked, and report any similar activity. Whether this person was a curious stranger, a confused visitor, or someone with different intentions, the effect on the neighborhood was immediate and lasting. The Lady in the Mirror. In a quiet neighborhood near Mexico City, an unsettling mystery has quietly circulated among residents for decades, whispered in hushed tones and avoided in polite conversation. It revolves around an antique mirror left behind by a former homeowner, an object that has gained an eerie reputation after multiple families reported the same chilling phenomenon. At first glance, the mirror appeared to be nothing more than a relic from another time, ornate, tall, and framed with aging wood. But soon, those living in the house began to see something within it that did not belong. According to several independent accounts, individuals walking past the mirror would sometimes catch sight of a woman in the reflection. She was always dressed in black, with long, dark hair, pale skin, and a fixed expression that was both sorrowful and deeply unnerving. Strangely, she never appeared in the room itself, only in the glass. Even more disturbing, she did not move or blink. She simply stood, gazing directly into the eyes of anyone who dared to look into the mirror. Her presence was silent, but oppressive, leaving those who saw her with a lingering sense of unease and cold. The first family to report the apparition thought it was a trick of the light or imagination. However, the sightings became more frequent, and eventually, multiple family members confirmed they had seen her too. Attempts were made to remove the mirror from the house, but doing so seemed to make the atmosphere inside even worse. Reports surfaced of electrical disturbances, lights flickering uncontrollably, appliances malfunctioning without cause, and batteries draining within minutes. One family, after relocating the mirror to their garage, experienced a sudden and severe illness that swept through their household. With no clear medical explanation and no previous health conditions, they returned the mirror to its original place in the house, hoping to restore balance. Another family, unaware of the mirror's history, moved in years later and began experiencing the same phenomena. This time, they tried covering the mirror entirely, but the disturbances persisted. Cold drafts would flow through the house without any open windows, and pets refused to go near the room where the mirror was stored. Eventually, the mirror was removed from public view and hidden away, sealed off in storage by locals who agreed it was best left undisturbed. To this day, the mirror remains out of sight, though its exact location is known to a few. No one speaks of trying to destroy it, as the fear surrounding it is too deeply rooted. Some say the woman in black is not trapped, but waiting, watching through the mirror for a moment when someone will look too long or too closely. Others believe she is a remnant of a sorrowful past, her presence tied not to the house, but to the mirror itself. Whether spirit, energy, or unexplained phenomenon, the lady in the mirror continues to haunt memory and reflection, her lifeless gaze etched into the minds of those who have seen her. The mystery of the Red Ghost. In the rugged deserts of Arizona during the late 1800s, a strange and terrifying legend began to spread among frontier settlers, a creature known only as the Red Ghost. This mysterious beast was described as massive, covered in red fur, and powerful enough to trample fences and leave deep, unnatural tracks in the sand. But the most disturbing detail wasn't its size or speed. It was what appeared to be strapped to its back. Witnesses claimed to see a human figure, possibly lifeless, tied to the creature with ropes, swaying violently as the beast galloped through the wilderness. The stories began with fear and disbelief. Ranchers, homesteaders and travelers spoke of being startled by the sound of pounding hooves, followed by the sudden appearance of the towering red animal. Some said it had a long neck and legs, a description that didn't match any native wildlife. Others said the figure on its back hung awkwardly, as if it had been there for a long time. The desert air was said to grow unnaturally still before the creature's approach, and more than one settler claimed it vanished before their eyes, as if dissolving into the dust. Local folklore quickly adopted the red ghost as more than a mysterious animal. People believed it might be a cursed creature or an omen of misfortune. The human figure, thought by many to be a soldier or explorer, was said to be paying a spiritual price for something terrible, perhaps punishment tied to a forgotten expedition or lost battle. In isolated towns, the red ghost became a symbol of the wild, unpredictable desert and the lingering secrets it might still hold. In later years, some accounts tried to explain the sightings with a more grounded theory. During the mid-1800s, the US Army had briefly experimented with using camels for transport in the Southwestern Territories. The project was eventually abandoned, but not all the camels were accounted for. Historians believe some were released into the wild, where they may have roamed for years. One theory suggests that the red ghost was a surviving camel with a pack or saddle still strapped to its back, and possibly, tragically, a person who had once ridden it and had not managed to dismount. While this explanation seems plausible on the surface, many details of the sightings challenge it. The sheer size of the creature, its red fur, the ghostly appearances and disappearances, and the emotional reactions of those who witnessed it do not align neatly with the image of a wandering animal. The legend continues to live on not because of what might be fact, but because of the strangeness that refuses to be fully explained. Today, the red ghost is remembered as one of the American West's most chilling and curious tales, a blend of folklore, possible history, and something that still lingers in the edges of imagination. The mystery of the Bell Witch. The legend of the Bell Witch has haunted the quiet countryside of Adams, Tennessee for over 200 years, yet the mystery continues to evolve in modern times. While the original story dates back to the early 1800s, when the Bell family reportedly experienced intense and terrifying activity on their homestead, recent investigations suggest that the phenomenon has never truly ended. Contemporary paranormal researchers who visit the historic Bell family land and the nearby cave often report unexplained whispering, phantom voices, and strange responses that seem intelligent and aware. The Bell Witch legend originally centered around a spirit said to torment the Bell family, particularly John Bell and his daughter Betsy. The spirit allegedly spoke aloud, moved objects, and even carried on conversations with visitors. Though the historical details remain debated, the story has endured and drawn thousands to the site in search of answers. In modern times, the Bell Witch Cave has become a focal point for these investigations. It is here that many say the presence still lingers, and it is here where voices continue to be heard, despite no one being present. Paranormal teams have captured recordings from inside the cave that contain chilling evidence of possible voice phenomena. These audio clips often include whispers that call out names, phrases that appear to answer direct questions, and even laughter. Some voices are soft and unintelligible, while others are clear enough to startle even seasoned investigators. What makes the experience so unusual is the sense of interaction. The voices do not simply echo or drift through the cave as residual sounds, they often seem to respond in real time, as if observing and engaging with those who enter. In addition to the audio phenomena, many visitors describe physical sensations that cannot be explained by the natural environment of the cave. Sudden, sharp drops in temperature, localized cold winds, and even the feeling of being touched or brushed against are all commonly reported. Some who provoke or challenge the entity say they become lightheaded or experience nausea, especially near specific spots within the cave. Others have reported a feeling of being watched, a heavy atmosphere that grows more intense the deeper they go. Skeptics have tried to attribute these experiences to acoustics, suggestion, or natural environmental factors, but the consistency of the reports has made many question whether something truly unexplainable resides in the area. Even those who arrive with disbelief often leave the Bell Witch Cave unsettled, carrying with them memories of whispers that had no source and a presence that felt very real. The modern Bell Witch voice phenomena remind us that some legends do not stay in the past. they evolve, echoing through time with new stories and fresh encounters. Whether one believes in spirits or not, the experience of standing in the darkness of that Tennessee cave, hearing a voice call your name when no one else is there, leaves a mark. For many, it's more than a ghost story. It's a direct brush with the unknown. The Crying Boy painting. In the 1980s, an unsettling mystery began to take shape across the United Kingdom and parts of Europe. It centered around a mass-produced painting of a young boy with teary eyes and a somber expression, known simply as the Crying Boy. The image, painted by Italian artist Giovanni Bragolin, became strangely popular, appearing in homes throughout the UK. But its growing presence coincided with something far more disturbing: a wave of unexplained house fires. In numerous cases, properties were entirely destroyed, reduced to ash and rubble, yet the Crying Boy painting was found untouched, lying among the ruins as if protected by something unseen. What began as isolated reports soon evolved into a pattern too strange to ignore. Families affected by these fires told eerily similar stories. Everything in their homes had been consumed by flames, yet the Crying Boy picture, often still hanging on the wall or lying near the source of the blaze, remained intact. Not only was the image unburned, but it appeared completely undamaged, as though the fire had deliberately avoided it. Word spread quickly, and soon firefighters were reportedly advising people to remove the painting from their homes. Some even refused to allow it into their own houses, convinced that it carried a mysterious curse. The media picked up on the story, and articles in newspapers and magazines helped to fuel the growing public unease. The painting's seemingly unnatural resistance to fire, coupled with its sorrowful appearance, fed theories that it was cursed. Some suggested the boy depicted in the artwork was an orphan who had experienced great suffering and that his spirit remained trapped within the painting. Others believed it was connected to a deeper energy, a form of emotional imprint that had turned the image into a magnet for misfortune. While skeptics argue that mass-produced art is often made with flame-retardant materials, which could explain the painting's survival, this technical reasoning did little to ease public fear. The frequency of the fires and the consistency of the painting's miraculous survival gave the tale a supernatural edge that logic struggled to dull. For many, it was not just a matter of coincidence. It was the persistence of these stories, the growing list of eerily similar accounts, and the psychological weight of the painting's sad eyes that made people believe something more was at play. Over time, the Crying Boy became more than just a work of art. It became a symbol of mysterious forces that exist beyond explanation. Some families burned the painting or threw it away, hoping to rid themselves of its influence. Others chose to keep it, either out of defiance or fascination. Even now, decades later, the legend of the Crying Boy continues to capture the imagination. Though no definitive answers have been found, the painting remains a quiet reminder that sometimes the most ordinary objects can carry the heaviest of shadows. The FBI investigates missing Shelby Lind Dwire, who suddenly vanished. The search for a missing Washington teenager has attracted national interest as the Federal Bureau of Investigation assumes control of the case. Shelby Lind Dwire was reported as missing by her family last year after she did not come back from her trip to Mexico. Despite exhaustive endeavors, the quest to find Shelby has extended into its 14th month, causing her family to experience distress and ambiguity. Shelby Lind Dwire's family, who reside in Washington, promptly notified the local police department about her disappearance in March 2023. Shelby, who was 17 years old at the time, had notified her family about her intention to travel to Mexico with a friend. Nevertheless, when she failed to uphold consistent communication and ultimately ceased all contact, her family became progressively worried and sought aid from police authorities. Given the intricate and international aspects of the case, the FBI has now taken charge of the investigation. Special Agent Steve Viano of the FBI's Seattle office delivered a report on the case, disclosing that the inquiry has successfully tracked Shelby's activities to Tijuana, where she is believed to have traveled by car. At the time of Shelby's disappearance, the department had released a travel advice cautioning about the dangers in the specific area where she was last seen. This has intensified fears among investigators and her family regarding her safety. The FBI is currently soliciting any information that may facilitate the retrieval of Shelby. A reward of up to $5,000 is being offered for information that leads to her discovery. If individuals possess any information pertaining to the case of Shelby Lind Dwire, they are urged to reach out to their local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or submit tips online. During the ongoing investigation, Shelby's family and law enforcement authorities are appealing to anyone who has information on her location to step forward with the aim of safely reuniting her with her family. United States soldiers find $500 million worth of gold bars and $600 million in cash in Iraq, but no one knows what happened to it. The United States military announced that American troops had confiscated a truck in Iraq containing gold bars with an estimated value of over $500 million. American troops, operating in a volatile region, stopped a convoy of vehicles for a routine inspection. Among the vehicles was a truck that, upon closer examination, was found to be carrying a cargo that stunned the soldiers. Stacked high in the truck's cargo bay were gold bars, each one gleaming in the harsh desert sun. The gold was quickly estimated to be worth over $500 million, a fortune that raised immediate suspicions about its origins and intended destination. The Central Command reported that soldiers discovered the bars during a routine traffic control examination of a Mercedes truck near the border. According to the command statement, the soldiers took 2 individuals into custody who were in the truck. Shortly after, United States troops discovered over $600 million in US currency inside boxes located near the royal complexes in Baghdad. Despite the high value of the gold and the implications of its discovery, what happened next is where the mystery deepens. According to some reports, the gold was transported to a secure location by the American military, where it was to be catalogued, documented, and eventually turned over to the appropriate authorities, whether the Iraqi government, the US Treasury, or another designated entity. However, as time went on, the trail of the gold seemed to vanish. Official records of the gold seizure and subsequent handling are either incomplete or non-existent. Attempts to trace the gold have been met with silence or vague responses from those in positions of authority. The lack of transparency has led to widespread speculation and conspiracy theories about the gold's ultimate fate. The story of the seized gold bars and their disappearance has become emblematic of the broader uncertainties and complexities of the conflict that was happening during this time. In a conflict marked by shifting alliances, unclear objectives, and constant threats, the fate of the gold serves as a reminder of how easily things can slip through the cracks in such an environment. The incident also highlights the challenges of accountability and transparency during these conflicts. The mystery of Juanzo Ortiz. Juan Ortiz, aged 25, went missing in Malaga on July 27, 2004. He was commuting from his residence to the carpentry workshop that he managed. Having been married for just a month, he was regarded as a diligent worker by his family, who also attested that he had no enemies. Upon departing from his residence, he informed his spouse, Raquel, of his intention to maybe spend the night in the carpenter workshop in order to complete some unfinished tasks. The final indication we possess regarding his whereabouts is the telephone conversation he had with his spouse, notifying her of his arrival at his workplace. He refrained from entering the shop, and his car remains undiscovered. According to his relatives, he established the carpenter shop several years ago, and it has been thriving. However, recently he appeared to be rather melancholic. At the moment of his disappearance, Juan was in a state of anticipation as he was awaiting the receipt of payment for furniture that he had recently sold. One of the locations that was investigated was the Sierra de Cazorla, a spot that he frequently went to. Flyers featuring his portrait and description were disseminated across various sections of the natural park, yielding no outcomes. The statement of the waitress at a restaurant in Adra, who claimed to have seen Cerezo having lunch there a few days after his disappearance, did not provide any useful information. Following a 2-month period of his absence, the family had a glimmer of optimism, only to be ultimately let down by the unethical actions of an opportunist. Juan Bautista's brother-in-law started receiving phone calls from an individual who claimed to have knowledge of Juan Bautista's whereabouts and assured that he was in good condition. During the first interaction, a demand for a sum of €15,000 was made in return for additional information. However, it was later discovered that the stated account number did not actually exist. Subsequently, other calls were received from the same individual, however with an unmistakably menacing demeanor. He insisted that Juan Bautista's spouse personally surrender the funds. Nevertheless, the remarkable efforts of the Guardia Civil enabled them to ascertain the identity of the caller, despite his alteration of his phone number. The individual in question was a 22-year-old inhabitant of Vélez, Malaga, who clarified that the incident was intended as a jest. He faced charges of fabricating a crime, making threats, and using compulsion. As of right now, Juan's case remains a mystery. The disappearance of Rebecca Roish. On the evening of Sunday the 17th of February 2019, Rebecca Roish was in the company of her oldest sister. The sister resided with her spouse and daughter in their private residence located in the southern region of Brits. That evening, she was alone with her child as her husband attended a social gathering with his co-workers. Roish desired to rest on the sofa in the living room and directly proceed to school on Monday morning, as it had an unexpected delayed commencement on that particular day. Roish's brother-in-law arrived back from the party at approximately 5:45 in the morning and went to bed for the night. The sister left the residence at 7 in the morning, accompanied by her daughter, in order to commute to her place of employment. At 7:15, Roish's mother attempted to contact her daughter, but was only able to leave a message on voicemail. Upon analyzing Rebecca's mobile phone, it was determined that the device was most recently connected to the home network at 7:46 in the morning. At 8:25, the mother made a second phone call, but once again, she was only able to leave a message on voicemail. Between the hours of 7 and 7:46, Roish had transmitted a Snapchat photograph to one of her friends. Due to the automatic deletion feature of Snapchat, the precise timestamp of when a photo was shot remains unknown. That friend saw this message at around 8:15. Roish was absent from school at 9:40, and upon her failure to get home in the afternoon, her parents promptly reported their daughter's disappearance. Several of Roish's personal possessions, including the clothing she had on in the Snapchat photo that morning, her Vans backpack, her pink handbag, and her mobile phone, seemed to have disappeared. Furthermore, a violet coverlet from her siblings' residence was also absent. On the 18th of February, Roish's parents notified the police about their daughter's disappearance and initiated their own search efforts. On February 21st, the police formally declared her as missing. On the 28th of February, law enforcement apprehended Roish's brother-in-law for interrogation, but subsequently had to release him on the 1st of March. On March 6, 2019, prominent investigator Michael Hoffman made an unexpected appearance on a television program that presents cases of unsolved crimes. Hoffman stated that they ascertained that Roish's brother-in-law had been operating a vehicle on the motorway during the morning of February 18th and the evening of February 19th. Hoffman additionally exhibited his photographic portraits during the presentation, a choice that was condemned by the attorneys representing the suspect. In March 2019, a thorough search was conducted in the woodlands and lakes along the motorway, but no additional evidence regarding Roish's location was discovered. In 2020, the prosecution made a formal request to Google to obtain data from both Roish and her brother-in-law, which is housed at Google's data center located in Dublin. The data was supplied in early 2021. In April 2023, law enforcement conducted a search of the residence belonging to Roish's brother-in-law. The police and prosecution have repeatedly asserted that Roish's brother-in-law is their primary and sole suspect in her disappearance. However, Roish's family has consistently stated their belief in his innocence. As of right now, this case remains a mystery. The mystery of the Kryptos. At the heart of the CIA's headquarters in Langley, Virginia, stands a sculpture that has captivated cryptographers, intelligence professionals, and puzzle enthusiasts for over 3 decades. Known as Kryptos, this mysterious artwork is not just a piece of modern art, it's a ciphered puzzle that has yet to be fully solved. Created by artist Jim Sanborn in 1990, Kryptos consists of 4 encrypted messages, 3 of which have been deciphered, while the 4th continues to baffle even the most skilled codebreakers. As a result of the CIA's decision to commission some art for itself in the 1980s, Kryptos was installed at its Langley, Virginia headquarters. They acquired a unique and aesthetically pleasing sculpture to display on their front lawn. However, the CIA chose to use a code and cipher that is currently renowned as one of the most well-known unsolved ones globally, as stated by cryptologist Ilonka Dunin. More than 1,000 characters are used in the copper spiral Kryptos to spell out an encrypted message. A portion of the message has been deciphered, however. The complete message remains undeciphered as of today. Currently, only the artist possesses the decryption answer, and it is uncertain when the true meaning of the sculpture will be disclosed. Exploring the sculpture's history just adds to the mystery surrounding it. The CIA commissioned the sculpture for their new headquarters in Langley, Virginia, in 1988. Kryptos, created by artist Jim Sanborn, has multiple components. However, the most renowned section is the undulating copper scroll adorned with over 1,000 characters, which symbolize an encoded message, as described by Ilonka Dunin. In addition to the copper scroll, there are other parts of the artwork that also contain hidden information. News outlets report that the artwork has several more components, including fragments of Morse code dispersed throughout the materials, a column made of fossilized wood, a swirling pool, slabs of granite, and other features. According to Sanborn, William Webster, who served as the director of the CIA when the sculpture was placed, played a significant role in acquiring other artwork for the agency. The title of the artwork is derived from the Greek term meaning hidden, which is fitting given the challenging nature of personally observing Kryptos. Ilonka Dunin encountered armed guards who informed her that access to Kryptos was restricted to individuals engaged in official activity. The copper scroll has a message consisting of 1,800 characters, which is encrypted and divided into 4 parts. The Smithsonian reports that the first 3 paragraphs have been successfully deciphered. However, the 4th and final passage, which has approximately 97 characters, remains a mystery at present. Sanborn has occasionally provided hints in an effort to assist others with deciphering the latter section of Kryptos. As reported, the encrypted message, when deciphered, presents a mystery. Therefore, even when Kryptos is decoded, the puzzle of how the many sections of the phrase connect will still exist. In 1998, CIA analyst David Stein became the first person to successfully decipher 3 out of the 4 communications. However, his achievement was not made known to the public. In the subsequent year, Jim Gilogly, a computer scientist from California, successfully resolved the initial 3 chapters as well. However, he accomplished this task using a Pentium II CPU, whereas Stein relied solely on traditional tools such as paper and pencil. As per the University of California at San Diego, the first 2 sections were decrypted using a cipher, while the 3rd section was decrypted using a combination of root transposition followed by a keyed columnar transposition. Furthermore, it has been discovered that the encrypted communication contains both deliberate and accidental flaws. However, the rectifications have not facilitated its decryption. Sanborn never anticipated that he would still be considering possible answers 3 decades later. However, in 2021, he is already in his 70s and has made the decision that if the code remains intact until his passing, he will proceed to sell the secret through an auction. As of right now, Kryptos stands as a monument to the intersection of art, cryptography, and the human fascination with the unknown. As the world's most famous unsolved cipher, it continues to inspire and challenge those who seek to unravel its secrets. While 3 of its 4 sections have been deciphered, the final part remains an enigma, a tantalizing mystery that keeps drawing people back to the sculpture year after year. The story of Kryptos is far from over. As technology advances and new generations of codebreakers take up the challenge, there is hope that the final section will one day be solved. Until then, Kryptos will remain a symbol of the mysteries that lie hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those with the curiosity and determination to see them through. The Great Pyramid of Giza's 100-foot-long chamber. Researchers from the Scans Pyramids project recently revealed the discovery of an internal void within the Great Pyramid of Giza, also referred to as the Pyramid of Kufu. This remarkable finding, made possible through the use of tomography, uncovers a previously unknown chamber that stretches over 100 feet in length. Notably, This is the first newly found chamber within the pyramid since the 19th century. Originally, the team's objective was to analyze construction methods and gain insights into the inaccessible internal structures of the pyramid. The Scans Pyramids project, initiated in 2015, is an international endeavor led by Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities. Its primary objective is to employ non-invasive technological methods to gain insights into Egypt's pyramids. The ancient Egyptian pharaoh Kufu constructed the Great Pyramid on the Giza Plateau during the 4th dynasty. This monumental structure is among the oldest and largest on Earth. However, the construction techniques employed in its creation remain a subject of ongoing debate, with no widely agreed upon consensus. Researchers have made an interesting discovery by utilizing 3 different muon detection technologies. The chamber was found, and its existence was confirmed by 3 separate analysis teams. This discovery is particularly significant as it is the first of its kind, despite the presence of documents dating as far back as 2013 at the construction site. Muons, as reported by National Geographic, continuously bombard the Earth, originating from collisions between cosmic rays and the Earth's upper atmosphere. While they are imperceptible to the human eye, scientists have the ability to detect them using films and specialized detectors that track their 3-dimensional trajectories. Muons have a higher permeability in empty space compared to denser materials, thus positioning multiple muon detectors around a structure enables scientists to create a map distinguishing between solid and empty sections of the structure. Muon tomography, despite its capabilities, is incapable of detecting small air shafts. The density analysis of the pyramid structure using muon observation took several months to gather sufficient data. Through analyzing the cross-section and dimensions of the empty space, researchers have determined that it is a significant feature within the pyramid, exhibiting similar muon data patterns as the Grand Gallery. This finding strongly suggests that the void was intentionally left vacant, although the contents, purpose and potential existence of other similar spaces remain uncertain. It is worth noting that the presence of a chamber is remarkable, given that most pyramids consist predominantly of solid rock. According to the article in Nature, the chamber referred to as the Scan Pyramid's Big Void was initially detected using nuclear emulsion films within the Queen's chamber. This observation was later verified by scintillator hodoscopes, positioned in the same chamber, and further confirmed by gas detectors placed outside the pyramid. Pyramids present a challenge when it comes to exploration due to the diverse construction methods employed by different dynasties. The variations in materials and designs necessitate careful investigation. At present, it remains uncertain if researchers will be granted permission to explore the recently found void, as Egypt has implemented stringent regulations on pyramid exploration due to extensive looting during the 19th and 20th centuries. The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the most iconic and mysterious structures in the world, is a marvel of ancient architecture. Built during the Old Kingdom of Egypt, this impressive pyramid continues to fascinate researchers and visitors alike. The Great Pyramid, also known as the Pyramid of Kufu or the Pyramid of Cheops, was constructed around 4,500 years ago as a burial monument for Pharaoh Kufu. The pyramid stands on the Giza Plateau near Cairo, Egypt, and was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. The exact number of stone blocks used to build the Great Pyramid is a subject of debate among scholars. Various estimates have been proposed based on different assumptions and calculations. It is important to note that the pyramid's construction methods and techniques have been the subject of extensive research, but many details remain uncertain. One estimate suggests that the Great Pyramid consists of approximately 2.3 million stone blocks. This figure is derived from the average weight of the individual blocks and the estimated volume of the pyramid. The majority of these blocks are limestone, quarried from nearby sources. Some of the larger blocks used in the pyramid's construction weigh several tons. However, other estimates propose different figures. Some researchers argue that the number of stone blocks may be higher, reaching around 2.5 million or even more. This discrepancy arises due to variations in the size of the blocks, the complexity of the pyramid's internal structure, and the challenges in accurately measuring and counting the blocks. The construction techniques employed by the ancient Egyptians played a crucial role in the building of the pyramid. Although new evidence is being presented about how the pyramids were constructed, as of right now, scientists have said that the blocks were carefully cut and shaped, then transported to the construction site using sledges, ramps, and possibly a system of levers and pulleys. The blocks were then meticulously arranged in a precise pattern, with the outer layers meticulously aligned to create the smooth pyramid shape. While the exact number of stone blocks remains uncertain, what is clear is the immense effort and skill that went into constructing the Great Pyramid. It stands as a testament to the advanced engineering and architectural capabilities of the ancient Egyptians. The precision with which the blocks were cut and positioned, as well as the sheer size and scale of the pyramid, demonstrate the ingenuity and planning involved in its construction. The Great Pyramid continues to captivate the imagination of people worldwide. Its monumental size, mysterious inner chambers, and the intricate construction techniques used are a testament to the ancient Egyptians' engineering prowess. The pyramid serves as a reminder of the remarkable achievements of this ancient civilization and their deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. As of right now, the exact number of stone blocks used in the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza remains a topic of speculation and debate among researchers. Estimates range from around 2.3 million to higher figures, reflecting variations in size, complexity, and measurement methods. Regardless of the precise number, the Great Pyramid stands as a remarkable feat of human engineering and a symbol of ancient Egypt's rich cultural heritage. Its enduring mystery and grandeur continue to inspire awe and admiration, inviting us to explore and appreciate the remarkable achievements of our ancestors. Serapium of Sakara. The Serapium of Sakara, discovered in 1850, has sparked ongoing speculation and curiosity. Despite numerous theories, there is still no definitive explanation for how and why the 24 massive sarcophagi were transported to the site and meticulously placed in their designated slots. While the prevailing notion proposes that the location served as a burial ground for Apis bulls, there are several aspects that challenge this belief. The dimensions of the boxes are larger than the dimensions of the bulls. Similarly, why was this not done for the pharaohs, who were laid to rest in cramped coffins that barely accommodated their bodies? Additionally, why were the sarcophagi in the Serapeum constructed using granite instead of the easier-to-handle limestone? People who are knowledgeable about the subject often dismiss the idea that the Serapeum was used for ceremonial burials, especially in the Grand Gallery where the large coffins are found. However, if that is not the case, then what purpose did it serve? This is a question that has perplexed Egyptologists, and so far they have not found a credible alternative theory. Since its exploration in 1850, the Serapium of Sakara has perplexed archaeologists and scholars, sparking discussions regarding the purpose and significance of the discovered tunnels. This remarkable historical complex houses 24 colossal stone structures, commonly referred to as boxes. These impressive artifacts weigh an astonishing 70 to 100 tons each, and serve as a testament to the advanced knowledge in fields like geometry and mathematics possessed by the ancient Egyptians. A component of the megalithic boxes, the 30-ton covers were constructed from identical stone blocks. Upon their discovery, a few of these lids were opened using gunpowder, revealing that the immense boxes were empty inside. Presently, researchers remain uncertain about the true intention behind these colossal boxes and how they were assembled thousands of years ago. The inquiry that arises from the presence of these containers revolves around whether the ancient Egyptians constructed them as commemorative sepulchres for the Apis bulls. If this was the case, why have no remains been discovered? The Apis bulls held immense reverence in ancient Egyptian culture and were among the earliest sacred cults in their history. It is believed by historians that the Apis bull was considered both a divine entity and a tangible representation of the Egyptian pharaohs. It is worth noting that the majority of these boxes are constructed from rose granite, a highly durable stone extracted from a quarry approximately 800 kilometers away from Sakara. Additionally, some boxes were crafted from an even more resilient substance called diorite, which was sourced from an even greater distance beyond Sakara. The remarkable accuracy of the boxes is a noteworthy attribute that has puzzled researchers and visitors alike. The discrepancies are recorded in thousandths of an inch, demonstrating an extraordinary level of precision. This raises a question that persists even after thousands of years. How was such precision achieved? The ancient Egyptians possessed a deep understanding of applied mathematics and geometry long before the construction of the Serapium of Sakara, showcasing their remarkable intelligence and capabilities. This fact serves to highlight the extraordinary knowledge and skills of the ancient Egyptians without any doubt or skepticism. The earliest texts on geometry, such as the Rind Papyrus and Moscow Papyrus, provide evidence of ancient knowledge in this field. It is remarkable to consider that even after several centuries, ancient Egyptians could still achieve remarkable precision in constructing corners with a 90-degree angle. The lingering inquiry is, how exactly did the ancient Egyptians acquire this knowledge? Furthermore, where did they obtain the tools utilized in these structures? Lastly, why are these colossal boxes devoid of any contents? Could there be a significant event in ancient history that has been disregarded by mainstream scholars, yet holds the key to comprehending the intelligence and capabilities of ancient civilizations like the Egyptians? The mystery of the crystal skulls. The crystal skulls are fascinating and enigmatic artifacts that have captured the imaginations of people around the world. These skull-shaped objects, carved from various types of crystal, have been the subject of speculation, mystery, and controversy. Crystal skulls are believed to have originated in ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, such as the Aztec, Maya, and Olmec. These skulls were intricately carved from a variety of crystals, including quartz, amethyst, and jade. They were crafted with remarkable precision, displaying intricate details and polished surfaces. One of the most famous crystal skulls is the Mitchell-Hedges skull, named after its discoverer, British adventurer and explorer F.A. Mitchell-Hedges. According to Mitchell-Hedges, he discovered the skull in the ruins of a Mayan city in Belize in the early 20th century. The Mitchell-Hedges skull stands out due to its exceptional craftsmanship and claims of being of ancient origin. Legend and speculation surround the crystal skulls, with some suggesting that they possess mystical powers or are connected to ancient civilizations' wisdom and knowledge. Some proponents believe that the skulls were used for various purposes, including healing, divination, and communication with the spirit world. Others claim that the skulls hold information and secrets about humanity's past, or even advanced origins. Crystal skulls have captivated the globe for numerous years due to their exquisite intricacy, exceptional craftsmanship, and enigmatic symbolism. The fascination originated in the late 1800s, when a collection of 13 crystal skulls gradually emerged in various art and historical communities worldwide. Since then, there has been speculation regarding their origins and purpose, leading to one burning question: do these crystal skulls possess unique abilities? According to those who possess crystal skulls, there is a firm belief in their ability to hold ancient wisdom. Typically constructed from quartz, a mineral widely used in telecommunications and data storage, due to its piezoelectric properties, these skulls are thought to be vessels of knowledge that can potentially benefit humanity. The belief stems from the fact that quartz, being one of the few solid materials on Earth capable of converting mechanical energy into electrical energy, can supposedly transfer its accumulated wisdom to more recent sculpted versions of crystal skulls. Crystal skulls have gained popularity among those who believe in their healing abilities. These sacred geometric sculptures, made from various precious stones, are believed to enhance the energy and effectiveness of healing crystals. Many individuals have reported positive outcomes when using crystal skulls to manifest their intentions. They have been used as complementary aids in healing the heart and mind, providing an expedited healing process when combined with traditional treatments. Crystal skulls are well known for their capacity to enhance psychic abilities. Experts in crystallography suggest that the vibrational energy released by these skulls replicates the electromagnetic waves produced by the brain during thought formation, thereby facilitating the acquisition of valuable insights and profound knowledge. Individuals who incorporate crystal skulls into their meditation practices often report heightened clarity in psychic visions and foreknowledge. A recent advancement in this area has introduced the concept of utilizing crystal skulls to amplify interstellar communication endeavors with extraterrestrial civilizations. The origins of these entities are veiled in enigma, adding to their allure. 3 prevailing theories exist. One suggests that they may have originated from past human civilizations, such as the Mayans. Another proposes that they were constructed in now-lost cities like Atlantis or Lemuria. Lastly, a third theory posits that they were not crafted by humans, but rather by beings from other realms. Crystal skulls have been a subject of fascination, particularly in relation to the Mayan civilization. According to ancient beliefs, there were 13 crystal skulls, with 12 being of equal size and containing valuable information from different planets. The remaining skull, significantly larger, served as the central consciousness that united all worlds. When arranged circularly with the 12 smaller skulls, the integration of knowledge was believed to occur, resulting in the profound enlightenment of humanity. These crystal skulls are regarded as potent conduits that facilitate the transmission of wisdom. The 13 crystal skulls were preserved on an ark during the Great Flood, a historical event recognized in specific regions. Following the flood, these skulls were scattered around the world. According to legend, when these 13 skulls are brought together in the future, humanity will gain access to valuable knowledge that can contribute to the creation of a more improved world. The indigenous peoples of America also reference 13 crystal skulls that house the wisdom of various realms and possess the means to unlock human enlightenment. An intriguing detail to highlight is that, in this rendition, the skulls emit melodic sounds. These enchanting and enigmatic tones have the power to mesmerize anyone who hears them, promoting positivity, happiness, and serenity. It remains uncertain as to the exact whereabouts of the skulls, but there has been significant speculation indicating that at least a portion of them may have been discovered. Experts in the field of crystal skulls unanimously acknowledge the inclusion of the Mitchell-Hedges skull among the 13 known specimens. Unearthed by Anna Mitchell-Hedges during her childhood at an archaeological excavation site in Belize in the 1920s, this particular skull is believed to have served as a tool of Mayan shamanism. Consequently, it has earned the name Skull of Doom. Following Mitchell-Hedges' demise, her husband assumed responsibility for the skull's safekeeping. Recently, an additional historical skull known as Baby Louv has emerged. Discovered by monks, this skull, crafted from rose gold quartz, is believed to have been utilized by ancient Scythians, as well as a more ancient civilization, the Cimmerians. Presently, it is housed and cared for by Joki van Dieten. The British Museum located in London possesses a life-size crystal skull that seems to have been carved from a single substantial chunk of transparent quartz. The museum acquired it from Tiffany & Company in 1897. Prior to this, the skull was owned by a Spanish officer who had served in Mexico before the French occupation took place. In 1992, the Smithsonian Institution received an enigmatic package consisting of a sizable milky white quartz crystal skull. Accompanying the skull was a note indicating that it had been acquired in Mexico during the 1960s. The donation, given anonymously, continues to mystify and remains unsolved. In Europe, museums in Paris showcase smaller and less advanced crystal skulls. The United Nations invited the Mayan Council of Elders in 2012 to address the topic of the Mayan calendar's end on December 12, 2012, which some believed would signify the apocalypse. During their presentation, they discussed the significance of elevating human consciousness as a means of achieving global peace and initiating a fresh start. They emphasized the pivotal role played by crystal skulls in facilitating this transformation. In his discourse, Don Alejandro Cirillo Pérez Oxlage, an esteemed elder, responds to individuals who express apprehension about the symbolism associated with skulls. He asserts that the significance of crystal skulls is not linked to the afterlife, but rather represents the enduring nature of certain elements amidst constant change. Just as the physical appearance of crystal skulls has been preserved over time, so too has the wisdom passed down from one generation to another. Don Alejandro emphasizes the importance of safeguarding our inherited knowledge from the past and utilizing it to improve our future. Don Pedro Pablo Chukpech discussed the significance of discovering inner tranquility. The initial step towards establishing harmony in our external surroundings starts with attaining peace within ourselves. One way to achieve this is through crystal skull meditation, which enables us to delve into deeper levels of understanding and ultimately experience profound serenity. Hunbat's Men, a Mayan day keeper, proposes that it would be beneficial for humanity if each individual possessed their own crystal skull that they could establish a connection with on a regular basis. This practice would serve to awaken their dormant memories and facilitate the accumulation of new ones, enabling them to glean valuable lessons from past errors. The mysterious legend of the crystal skulls has captivated the imaginations of many, leading it to become a prominent element in popular culture. Interestingly, some have suggested that the crystal skulls hold important information about our past, and just recently, a scientist came forward and said that data storage in crystal quartz will change everything. Hitachi has recently introduced a groundbreaking technology in the form of a quartz glass sheet, which has caught the attention of many tech companies. This innovative storage device shows the potential to preserve data for an astonishing 300 million years. Compared to existing storage options like records, CDs, USB sticks, and magnetic tapes, this new technology surpasses them all in terms of capacity and longevity. Its development holds great promise for the future of data storage. While this may sound exciting, there are additional aspects to consider. Currently, Hitachi has a tangible product that they may potentially market once they find an efficient way to transfer data to computers and televisions. However, the initial model they have only offers a data storage capacity slightly higher than that of a CD. Nevertheless, this does not suggest that this technology is destined to fail. It is simply in its early stages of development. Furthermore, there are already individuals working on a larger and improved version. Scientists at the University of Southampton in the United Kingdom have made significant progress in the advancement of a remarkable technological innovation. The concept of ancient crystal skulls and the belief that they possess a treasury of knowledge is widely known. Throughout history, there have been claims that these crystal skulls hold ancient wisdom, potentially originating from the era of Atlantis or beyond. In a recent revelation, an esteemed quantum physicist, Deep Prasad, who holds the position of CEO at Reactive Q, an organization specializing in quantum technology, shared a captivating and thought-provoking account on the popular social media platform, X, also known as Twitter. This intriguing narrative quickly gained traction and attracted significant attention due to the nature of its content. Prasad, who is not only an industrial engineer but also a distinguished physicist, embarked upon a detailed and lengthy exposition, meticulously describing a remarkable encounter he had with 3 enigmatic entities that left him astounded and deeply perplexed. Exploring the depths of this narrative, we find ourselves venturing into an unfathomable realm where the boundaries of our understanding are tested. Dr. Prasad said the following: "It's Thanksgiving, and this is going to be a rather complicated post. It's also objectively not a good idea for me to write it, given every scientist has a target on their back in the UFO community, and given that I'm still a tech CEO. Near the beginning of 2019, February 1st, I had the most absurd, world-changing experience of my life. It happened in broad daylight at 9:40 in the morning in my home. More specific details will be for another time when I have a better safety net and can expand more. But to put it simply, I was paralyzed against my will, could not move, and saw 3 entities. These entities projected hundreds of thousands of sentences and paragraphs in a language that looked like Japanese and Egyptian hieroglyphics. I was terrified that I could barely move and was in complete disbelief at what was happening. I'd go back and forth between, convincing myself that I was having some sort of seizure or had fallen unconscious, and that there was no way this was happening, to downright fear, realizing that it all felt more real than reality. I was scared that I couldn't move, and was not in control of the situation, yet could think perfectly straight. At the same time, I was trying to make sense of the symbols. It was incredibly frustrating that I couldn't understand or translate them. The sentences and paragraphs would keep flipping rapidly, and the only English word I saw, at least 3 times, was the word DNA. This means that whoever or whatever was doing this, even if it's my brain, clearly understood English, but was choosing not to use it for everything. The image of my room would disappear when I raised my head a little, but it was hard to do that, and I would feel extremely nauseous. When it disappeared, I realized I was no longer in my room but somewhere else. When I would put my head back down, the image of my room would come back on again, and the symbols were back again. I decided to stop fighting what was happening, and for some reason no longer felt fear, but total fascination. The fear feeling would come back every now and then, but by this point, I was observing everything that was going on. The color of their suits, their size, their mannerisms, and the feeling that my mood was being rapidly cycled. After a certain point, one of them jumped on top of me and slowly walked towards my head. Right before it did this, it was on the ground near my TV, and displaying these beautiful golden holograms in the middle of its suit. These golden sparkles would jump around it too. Once it was on me, it walked towards me so slowly and cautiously, and I felt like I was being treated like an animal. I felt this weird light hitting the top of my head, and suddenly I got hit with the most blissful, euphoric feeling I have ever felt. I will try my best to describe it. It felt like the universe was sentient and aware of my existence. The feeling was of warmth and nostalgia. It was like a reminder that space is teeming with life, and that we're all related to each other by virtue of existing. I used the word oneness, which meant nothing to me before. After a few minutes of experiencing this, I got knocked out or lost consciousness, and woke up instantly. Not a minute had gone by since the experience started. I was heaving and looking around, completely shocked at what just happened. I couldn't believe no time had passed. I still didn't think what had happened could be authentic, but I question it less today than I did when it first happened. This all happened around an interesting time in my life. I had spent roughly 3 months studying unidentified objects, which is why I doubted the experience since I was biased. I was debating whether to delete all my tweets on the subject, because I was starting to think it was all one big scam, and I was disgruntled with the lack of hard evidence. This pushed me over the edge and made me double down on my obsession. I decided I needed to find more people who had these experiences, so I got in contact with the Toronto CE5 group. I booked a ticket and would meet Hal and Lou Elizondo the next month. I needed to know who these people were, what was going on, and if I had officially gone crazy. My life got weirder days after this experience. First of all, another thing that had happened a few weeks before this was someone passed away who was in my circle. We were not that close, but I looked up to him and related to him. Finding out about his passing had me traumatized, and it was affecting my work. Yet after the experience, I realized that feeling of oneness had not gone away. It was impossible to feel fear, and I literally could not feel fear no matter how hard I tried. I felt love for everyone, and it was very hard to make me mad. When I did, it wouldn't last very long and sizzle out fast. I was objectively the better version of myself. My beliefs in God changed almost instantly too. I went from an atheist to being spiritual. I started having dreams of seeing the inside of some of the UAPs we so commonly hear about. Mostly saucers and orbs, and some of my dream characters spoke only through telepathy. I had never in my life dreamed such things until this year. I'd experienced impossible electrical anomalies 2 weeks after it happened, and I started feeling unnerved because I felt I had lost my free will to an extent. I didn't like that this newfound fearlessness, unconditional love and so on were not coming from me. I considered getting an MRI done to see what parts of my brain were rewired. It was unnatural, but extremely good and liberating. If the whole world experienced this state of mind I was in, we would level up overnight. I am convinced all the hate, fear, and anger would disappear overnight from our society. After a couple of weeks, this feeling and state of mind dwindled down until I was back to my normal self again. Sometimes I wish I could go back to the way things were those first 2 weeks after the experience. I had my first sighting just weeks after this, and have had 4 in total since, 2 of which I have recorded. Archaeologists searching for Cleopatra find a geometric miracle tunnel. Far beneath a temple in the ancient ruins of Taposiris Magna, a city on the Egyptian coast, archaeologists made an incredible discovery. They uncovered a tunnel which is being referred to as the geometric miracle. Kathleen Martinez from the University of Santo Domingo uncovered the structure when searching for the lost tomb of Cleopatra. The tunnel was 13 meters below the ground, 2 meters tall, and roughly 1,300 meters long. It was built into sandstone and boasts some exceptional engineering brilliance to pull it off. It has been compared to the Eupalinos tunnel on the Greek island of Samos, which is equally large and impressively designed. Martinez says this is a huge discovery for the team and could also take them one step closer to finding the lost tomb of Cleopatra. However, they still need to figure out the reason for these tunnels and what might be inside the temple. Their hope is that after further exploring, they may be able to find the room that holds the tombs of Cleopatra and her husband Mark Antony. This would be the largest discovery of the 21st century, and archaeologists are extremely excited to continue exploring the temple. Nonetheless, the tunnel is an incredible discovery and has already presented researchers with some hidden treasures. They uncovered several pieces of pottery and a unique block of limestone within the tunnel. Even if the tunnel does not lead to the lost tombs, it will significantly help archaeologists to understand the history of the temple better. Now we just have to wait and see what else they can uncover in the near future. Bible stolen from US, found in Netherlands. The Pittsburgh Library lost a Geneva Bible from its rare collection of books nearly 20 years ago, and it has just been discovered in a strange place. The book was said to have been published in 1615, and its home was once the Carnegie Library in Pittsburgh. A former archivist that worked at the library and a rare book dealer was accused of stealing nearly 300 rare books with an estimated value of $8 million. However, recently the book was discovered in the Netherlands. It was found at the American Pilgrim Museum in Leiden. The museum had paid $1,200 for the book, but has now returned it to its original home in Pittsburgh. The FBI hopes this recent case will inspire other collectors and museums to check their inventory and determine if anything might be stolen. As of now, only 18 of the 300 books have been recovered. One of these books is the Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica by John Adams, which has a value of $900,000. That being said, another book by philosopher Adam Smith, called An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations, has yet to be recovered and is estimated to be worth $180,000. The library has closed the display that used to hold these books and will only be reopening it once the others have been recovered. As a result, the recently found Bible has not yet been put back on display, as the museum is still deciding whether they will continue to share it with the public. Fortunately, some of the stolen books have been returned, but it may be many years before all 300 are returned to the library's collection. We can only hope that they are discovered and brought back so everyone can enjoy looking back at the history they represent. Secret underground theatre found in the catacombs. The Paris catacombs are quite an intriguing place indeed. So much so, the catacombs have been featured in many famous horror stories, such as the movie As Above, So Below. In this network of underground tunnels, lined with skulls and bones, you would not expect to find much of anything resembling the modern world. However, Paris police discovered one such thing only a handful of years ago. In September 2004, police were undergoing a training exercise in uncharted parts of the catacombs when they found a sign that said, "Building site, no access." Naturally, if there were such a thing, they would know about it. They pushed on and found a camera recording them. Continuing further into the area, a recording of dogs barking played, presumably to warn them to not go any further. But they did. They stumbled upon a 400 square meter chasm containing a cinema, dining room, and other amenities. It was equipped with a projector, chairs, and a fully stocked bar. There was also a stockpile of many films, ranging from 1950s movies to modern thrillers. If that wasn't enough, there was professionally installed electricity and even 3 telephone lines connected to the area. As it turns out, the area was created by Les UX, the Urban Experiment, a mysterious group that improves hidden corners of Paris that have fallen into disrepair. It consists mainly of urban explorers, artists, architects, and historians, and they held film festivals in this little cavern in the catacombs. Wouldn't you like to secretly watch a spooky film beneath the streets of Paris and sip a cask of wine? Amontillado, perhaps? The Lost Wealth of Ophir. King Solomon is one of the most famous characters of the Old Testament and was the third king of Israel. He was also one of the wealthiest people to ever exist during that period. He was well known as a savvy and knowledgeable leader that ruled the Middle East for nearly 4 decades. King Solomon collected an immense amount of gold during his reign and was known for having 500 tons of it. He used his gold to create armor, clothing, plates, and a throne from the rare metal. In today's value, it's estimated that King Solomon would have a net worth of $60 trillion based on the immense amount of gold he owned. The gold was held in the Cave of Ophir, but as of now, no one knows where that is. Unfortunately, the Bible often discusses the king's wealth, but never provides concrete details on where this cave can be found. Some experts claim that he collected this gold with the help of Phoenician King Hiram, who ruled Tyre, modern-day Lebanon. Therefore, the cave could be located in one of these regions. But these regions and their people were known to travel often, and the hidden cave of Ophir could be somewhere in Africa, Asia, or America. Some archaeologists have claimed to have already found the lost mine of Ophir and argue that the metal which made Solomon his money was copper and not gold. But there is yet to be any conclusive evidence to back up these claims. The existence and locations of this cave are still heavily discussed today. Archaeologists are still searching for the hidden cave and all its wealth. In the pursuit of uncovering hidden treasures, Daryl Miklos undertook a deep investigation into the Caribbean region using meticulously compiled maps from the 1960s by NASA astronaut Gordon Cooper. With precision and determination, he delved into over 100 magnetic anomalies spotted on these maps. Venturing into the depths of an undisclosed area close to the Bahamas, Miklos embarked on a quest to unravel the mysteries shrouding a potential ancient ship. The seasoned treasure hunter, in a twist of fate, stumbled upon an astonishing and peculiar structure that defied all expectations and left him in awe. This remarkable find was unlike anything he had seen before. The colossal, unidentified submerged object is accompanied by 15 obtrusions, each one stretching an impressive length of 300 feet, protruding prominently from the object. During a private interview, Miklos provided a detailed account of his findings while filming episode 7 of Cooper's Treasure. He passionately expressed his team's objective of recovering the remarkable aircraft from the depths of the ocean, shedding light on their ambitious endeavor. He said that during the filming, there was a specific moment that stuck in his mind. It was a scene in which he found himself seated inside a submersible, designed for 2 occupants. During his time in the Bahamas, he embarked on an intriguing adventure along the renowned shipwreck trail associated with the eminent historical figure Sir Francis Drake. During his attempt to analyze the shipwreck artifacts by referencing the anomaly readings on Gordon's charts, he stumbled upon a peculiar observation that completely took him by surprise. The formation he encountered was truly extraordinary and unlike anything he had ever witnessed in relation to shipwreck material. Its sheer size was far beyond what one would typically expect from such remnants. In this remarkable scenario, it is as if a wall cliff generously sprouted 5 colossal arms, each of which rivals the size of a battleship's gun. These arms are magnificently enormous, with another set of 5 arms adorning the opposite side, and yet another set of 5 on a different side, amounting to a grand total of 15 arms. This awe-inspiring image truly captivates the imagination with its sheer scale and magnitude. Based on his extensive experience in this field, he has come across 3 different areas where there are formations that appear to not be naturally occurring or the result of human activity. These formations do not resemble anything he has ever encountered before, despite his years of expertise in this area. Additionally, upon further investigation, They have identified multiple types of shipwreck materials, none of which correlate or bear any resemblance to these formations. It is intriguing to note that these formations stand out as unique and unexplained anomalies in the context of his work and observations. Diving to a depth of 300 feet below the surface, the explorers encountered the most profound section of the site. To safely explore this extreme depth, divers were equipped with specialized breathing apparatus and utilized a cutting-edge submarine. During the expedition, the exploratory team also stumbled upon numerous peculiar and enigmatic structures surrounding the central subject. These formations, adorned with an abundance of resilient coral growth, have intrigued the explorers, leading them to speculate on their age, estimating that they may date back hundreds, or perhaps even thousands of years. Miklos was filled with astonishment by the discovery he made. Upon returning to his ship, he made a conscious decision to delve deeper into Cooper's files, motivated by his willingness to uncover additional clues and unravel the mystery even further. In a noteworthy manner, the astronaut made a remarkable notation on the map of the region, opting to describe the sighting as an unidentified object, instead of referring to it as a known historical shipwreck. During Miklos's investigation of Gordon's charts, he came to the realization that there was an additional element that Gordon was making reference to. This discovery served as an important observation, shedding further light on the information presented in the charts. Upon further reflection, he began to comprehend the reason behind it not being classified as a shipwreck. He said that Cooper must have been alluding to the possibility of it being an object of advanced origin. Gordon held a firm belief in the existence of advanced beings. He was convinced that not only did these beings visit our planet from other worlds, but they also frequently chose this specific region as a landing location for their crafts or encounters. In a comprehensive and in-depth retelling, Miklos asserts that Gordon Cooper entrusted him with a valuable collection of maps. These meticulously crafted maps not only included highly detailed charts, but also provided precise coordinates, thereby increasing the chances of successful exploration and discovery. While unidentified flying objects have captivated our imagination for decades, a parallel enigma has been lurking beneath the world's oceans: unidentified submerged objects. These elusive underwater anomalies have sparked intrigue and curiosity, raising questions about their nature, origin, and the possibility of life beneath the waves. Unidentified submerged object sightings date back centuries, with reports of strange underwater phenomena peppering maritime lore. In the 16th century, sailors documented sightings of luminous underwater objects that defied explanation. As time passed, these encounters persisted, leading to a variety of theories and speculations. One of the most famous early reports came from the USS Stein. The crew witnessed a large, fast-moving object in the water, tracked by sonar, and even detected visually. Despite extensive investigation, no conventional explanation was found. Unidentified submerged objects, like their airborne counterparts, come in various forms and exhibit a range of characteristics. Witnesses have reported seeing objects that glow with an otherworldly light, display rapid and erratic movements, and seem impervious to the crushing depths of the ocean. Some accounts describe objects emerging from and submerging into the water with astonishing speed, defying the laws of physics as we understand them. These reports share similarities with unidentified flying object sightings, suggesting a potential connection between the two phenomena. However, the underwater environment presents unique challenges for observation and investigation, making unidentified submerged objects even more elusive. The enigmatic nature of unidentified submerged objects has led to numerous theories and speculations about their origin and purpose. Some suggest that they could be the result of advanced, secret military technology or underwater research projects. Others propose that they may be natural phenomena, such as unusual geological formations or bioluminescent organisms. An intriguing theory is that unidentified submerged objects may be related to advanced life. Just as unidentified flying objects are often linked to potential visits from otherworldly beings, unidentified submerged objects could be evidence of submerged craft or bases. While these theories are speculative, they highlight the range of possibilities and mysteries surrounding these objects. Over the years, there have been numerous documented encounters. Notably, these encounters have been confirmed by radar, sonar, and visual observations by trained military personnel, lending credibility to the reports. However, despite these documented incidents, the mysteries surrounding unidentified submerged objects persist. The study of these mysterious objects remains a relatively underexplored field compared to UFO research. Limited funding and the challenges of underwater exploration contribute to the lack of comprehensive investigations. However, there is a growing interest in unraveling the mysteries of the deep, and advancements in technology are aiding efforts to better understand unidentified submerged objects. Underwater drones, improved sonar capabilities, and collaborative international research initiatives are all contributing to the search for answers. Scientists and researchers are increasingly acknowledging the significance of unidentified submerged object encounters and their potential implications for our understanding of the ocean and the universe. Naval forces rely on secure and unobstructed access to the world's oceans for various strategic and logistical reasons, including maintaining freedom of navigation, protecting national interests, and ensuring the security of sea-based assets like submarines and aircraft carriers. Any unexplained incursions into maritime territories could undermine these objectives. These underwater objects raise concerns about national security, particularly when they are observed near naval bases, vessels, or critical underwater infrastructure. The inability to identify the origin or intent of unidentified submerged objects can lead to uncertainties that affect naval readiness and response capabilities. These objects, with advanced capabilities, might infiltrate sensitive maritime areas to conduct surveillance, gather intelligence, or assess naval activities. Their capacity to remain undetected or to outmaneuver traditional naval defenses could compromise national security.